Have you ever caught yourself staring at your phone, wondering if she's doing the same? Sitting there, waiting, hoping, just like you. Does she secretly want you to break no contact? Maybe you replay old memories, searching for clues. Maybe you lie awake at night, asking yourself if she regrets walking away. You want to believe she misses you, that she's longing for you to reach out. But let me ask you something. What if this painful uncertainty is actually your greatest advantage? Imagine this. Instead of being consumed by doubt, you step into your power. You master your emotions. You become so emotionally disciplined, so unshakable, that your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. That's the essence of true strength. That's Stoic discipline. Because here's the truth. When she walked away, she expected you to chase. She assumed you'd beg, crumble, and prove her right. But what happens when you don't? What happens when you refuse to break? That's when the power shifts. Suddenly, she's the one questioning. She's the one feeling the silence. And you're no longer waiting. You're reclaiming your freedom. Today, I'll show you exactly how to do it. Hit like, subscribe, and let's begin. Number 1. The silent power move. How no contact flips the game. Silence. Most men fear it. They think it means weakness, surrender, or loss. They assume that by staying quiet, they're giving up control. But what if I told you that silence, when used correctly, is one of the most powerful psychological weapons you have? Right now, while you're resisting the urge to reach out, she's expecting you to break. She's waiting for the text, the call, the desperate attempt to pull her back, because that's what most men do. But you're not like most men. Instead, imagine a different scenario. One where you step back, guard your peace, and reclaim your freedom. One where your silence speaks louder than any message you could ever send. Because here's the truth. Silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty creates attraction. She thought she had you figured out. She assumed you'd be too weak to resist. But every second you hold your ground, every moment you choose discipline over impulse, you're rewiring the entire dynamic. Now, she's the one wondering. Now, she's the one questioning. Has he moved on? Did I misjudge him? Did I lose him for good? This is the power of no contact, not as a game, not as a trick, but as a declaration of self-respect, as proof that you refuse to be controlled by anyone else's validation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This is your moment to embody that wisdom, to stand firm, to show, not tell, that you are in control. Because when you refuse to chase, when you master your emotions instead of being ruled by them, you don't just make her second-guess her decision. You become a man she can't ignore, a man she never expected you to be. So if you're ready to stop playing small, if you're ready to embrace your silence as your greatest strength, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below. My silence will change the game. Let's begin. Number 2. Escape the trap. Why emotional weakness destroys you. Let's talk about one of the biggest traps men fall into. The dangerous illusion that breaking no contact will somehow bring relief. That reaching out will ease the pain. That one simple message, one heartfelt conversation will magically fix everything. It won't. Right now, your emotions are lying to you. They're telling you that if you just explain yourself, if you just remind her of what you had, she'll suddenly realize your worth. That maybe, just maybe, she's waiting for you to reach out. But here's the harsh truth, grounded in psychology. The moment you break no contact, you lose. You hand her all the power. You confirm every reason she had for walking away. And in her eyes, your desperation doesn't make you look romantic. It makes you look weak. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions can be our greatest weapon or our worst enemy. The difference? Control. Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The second you act on impulse, whether from loneliness, anxiety, or fear, you're proving that you are not in control. You're proving that your emotions own you. And guess what? She sees it. The harsh reality of attraction is that it isn't based on logic, it's psychological. She doesn't respect the man who begs. She respects the man who stands firm. Every time you reach out, every time you try to pull her back, you're lowering your value in her eyes. You're making it easier for her to justify her decision. She expects emotional weakness from you. She's seen it before. She knows most men can't handle the pressure of silence, so they crack. And when you do, you prove her right. But what happens when you don't? What happens when you refuse to give in? That's when the game changes. That's when you show a level of emotional strength that is rare, powerful, and impossible to ignore. Because the moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you stop trying to win her back, is the moment you become the man she second guesses walking away from. Breaking no contact isn't bold. It's a trap. A trap designed to keep you emotionally enslaved. If you're ready to escape it, if you're ready to reclaim your strength, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below. I control my emotions. They do not control me. Number 3. Indifference is power. Master your emotions. Control the game. Let's talk about one of the most powerful yet misunderstood emotional weapons, indifference. Most people get this wrong. They think being indifferent means being bitter, cold, or pretending not to care. But true indifference isn't an act. It's freedom. Real indifference isn't about faking it. It's about genuinely reaching a point where your peace, your happiness, and your self-worth no longer depend on anyone else. Not her, not what she does, not whether she stays or goes. When you master this mindset, you become untouchable. No emotional games can shake you. No manipulation can break you. You're no longer reacting, you're simply being. And guess what happens when you reach this level? The entire power dynamic shifts in your favor. Suddenly, she notices. She expected you to be hurt, to chase, to seek her approval. But instead, you don't flinch. You don't beg. You don't even react. And that terrifies her. Because here's a truth that most people don't realize. Humans crave what they can't have. Dark psychology proves that we chase validation from those who withhold it. When you're no longer emotionally invested in her every move, your value skyrockets in her eyes. Your attention is no longer guaranteed, and that makes it something rare, something she now has to work for. The ancient Stoics, like Seneca, understood this deeply. He once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How many times have you replayed scenarios in your mind, torturing yourself over things you can't control? How much of your emotional energy have you wasted overthinking her decisions, her actions, her silence? Now imagine what happens when you take all that energy back, when you stop reacting and start redirecting. Instead of obsessing over her, you focus on yourself, your growth, your purpose, your future. And just like that, your indifference transforms you. It makes you stronger, more attractive, more powerful. And when she sees that, when she realizes she no longer controls your emotions, it shakes her to the core. She starts wondering, doubting, regretting. She thought she knew you, but now she sees a man she completely underestimated. But here's the thing. You're not pretending. You're not playing a game. You're actually free. If you're ready to master indifference, reclaim your power, and become impossible to manipulate, drop a comment below. I stand firm, untouched, unbreakable. Number 4. Make her doubt everything. The Stoics' secret to reversing regret. Let's talk about something powerful. How your newfound Stoic discipline can make her second-guess every decision she made about you. Because whether she admits it or not, she left with a certain belief. She thought she had you figured out, that you'd stay emotionally attached, predictable, easy to read. But what happens when you no longer fit that image? What happens when you genuinely evolve? Embracing emotional independence, mastering detachment, and stepping fully into your own power. Suddenly, everything she assumed about you starts to fall apart. The reasons she walked away don't hold up anymore. The version of you she thought she left behind, he no longer exists. This isn't about playing games. This is about transformation. When you stop seeking her approval and start living for yourself, you're not just shifting the dynamic, you're rewriting the entire script. And that shakes her perception of you to the core. Psychology tells us that people's greatest fear isn't losing someone, it's misjudging their worth. Now she's left wondering, did I just let go of someone irreplaceable? Why didn't I see this strength before? How did he change so much, so fast? Every day you stay in no contact. Every day you grow mentally stronger, more disciplined, more in control. Her mind spirals deeper into doubt. Because here's the truth. Confidence without attachment is magnetic. Independence without neediness is rare. When you master emotional discipline, you stop reacting. You stop chasing. And that makes you unpredictable. That makes you powerful. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond your control." You can't control what she does, but you can control how you respond. And when you stop revolving your happiness around her, when you detach completely from the outcome, that's when the power shifts. Not because you're trying to make her regret leaving, but because you've become the kind of man she can't forget. The kind of man she wishes she understood sooner. If you're ready to step into that power, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below. I am the man she will never replace. Number 5. Flip the script. How your absence takes over her mind. Let's step inside her mind for a moment. What really happens the longer you stay silent? You might think that your no contact is just about self-discipline, about healing, about moving forward. But on a psychological level, it does something far more powerful. It starts working against her. See, silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's a trigger. A psychological tripwire that flips her emotions upside down. At first, she was sure of her decision, confident, maybe even relieved. But the longer you hold your ground, the more that certainty starts to crack. She expected you to react, to chase, to plead, to prove her right. But you didn't. And now she's confused. Now she's thinking about you in ways she never anticipated. Because every day you stay silent, your absence grows louder. It fills up the empty spaces in her mind, forcing her to question everything. This isn't just theory, it's human psychology. People are wired to crave what they can't have. The law of scarcity tells us that when something becomes elusive, it instantly becomes more valuable. Your emotional detachment flips the script. Suddenly, you're not just the guy she left, you're the one who got away. And that realization, it eats at her. She starts replaying old memories, dissecting conversations, wondering if she made a mistake. And the worst part for her, she has no answers. Your silence creates a void, and the human brain hates voids. It fills them with thoughts, doubts, and regrets. Why hasn't he called? Did he move on? Did he meet someone else? Did I misjudge him? Each unanswered question tightens its grip on her, forcing her to wrestle with emotions she thought she had under control. And ironically, the more she wonders, the more she wants to hear from you. The less you say, the more she wants to break the silence herself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." That's exactly what's happening to her now. It's not your silence that hurts. It's what her mind is doing because of it. And that's why you don't break. You don't reach out. You let her sit with it. Let her wrestle with the uncertainty. Because the moment she realizes you're truly gone is the moment she starts questioning everything. So, if you're ready to let your absence do the talking, drop a comment below. She'll hear my silence before she ever hears my voice again. Let's see who's really in control now. Number 6. The Stoics' payback. Become untouchable, unshakable, unbreakable. Let's talk about real revenge. Not the petty, spiteful kind driven by anger. Not the kind that makes you look desperate, bitter, or weak. No, this is something far greater. This is the Stoics' revenge. The kind of revenge that makes you untouchable, unshakable, and completely in control of your emotions. Because true revenge isn't about making her regret leaving. It's not about proving a point or trying to make her miss you. It's about becoming the kind of man who no longer needs to care. The kind of man who is so emotionally grounded that nothing, no rejection, no loss, no heartbreak can shake his foundation. She expected you to crumble. She assumed you'd beg, chase, or break under the weight of your emotions, because that's what most men do. They become desperate. They try to prove their worth. They show weakness. But you're different. You don't give her that power. You refuse to let her, or anyone, dictate your emotional state. And that single decision, that quiet strength, will shake her more than any words ever could. Because people respect what they can't control. When she realizes that she no longer holds power over you, when she sees that you are unbothered and completely self-sufficient, it forces her to question everything. It forces her to wonder, how did he become so strong? Why doesn't he care anymore? Did I completely misjudge him? This is human psychology at its core. We are drawn to strength and repelled by weakness. And the moment you stop needing her validation, the moment you step into emotional mastery, is the moment she starts feeling the loss. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And that's exactly what you're doing. You're not playing her game. You're not reacting emotionally. You're not proving her right. Instead, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you don't need to chase. You don't need to beg. You don't need anyone to complete you. You are whole, powerful, and in control. So, are you ready to turn pain into power? To embrace emotional invincibility? Drop a comment below and say, "I choose strength over weakness." Let's make this shift together. Number 7. Cut the chains. How to break free from emotional slavery. Let's cut through the noise and get brutally honest. Winning her back isn't the real victory. The real victory, winning yourself back. Emotional freedom isn't about playing games, trying to make her regret leaving, or hoping she notices your absence. It's about breaking the chains you've locked yourself in. Because let's be real, every time you chased, every time you waited for her text, craved her approval, or needed her validation, you weren't just giving her attention, you were giving her control. And that's where most men lose themselves. See, true Stoicism teaches us something powerful. The second you depend on someone else for your happiness, you become their prisoner. You become emotionally trapped, shackled by the hope that one day she'll come back, that one day she'll see your worth. But here's the truth. You don't need her to see it. You need to see it for yourself. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is not attained through the satisfaction of desire, but through the suppression of desire." That means real strength comes from mastering your emotions, not being ruled by them. When you stop craving her validation, you take your power back. You reclaim your peace, your dignity, and your self-respect. And here's where it gets even more interesting. When you detach emotionally, when you show that you're perfectly fine without her, something shifts. She starts to feel the void. Dark psychology tells us that people are drawn to those who are completely independent, those who can walk away without hesitation, without fear of loss. She expected you to wait. She expected you to need her. But now, she sees something different. You're thriving, unbothered, confident, genuinely happy. And suddenly, she realizes something. You never needed her. She never held your worth, only your attention. Now that your attention is gone, she finally sees your value. But here's the beautiful part. By the time she realizes this, you won't even care. Because emotional freedom isn't about making her regret anything. It's about making sure you never feel trapped again. You are the master of your happiness, your peace, and your life. That's the real victory. Nope, you're not waiting anymore. You've broken the chains, you've stepped into your full power, and there's no turning back. If you're ready to break free, to reclaim your life, and never be emotionally trapped again, comment below, "I choose freedom." Let's go. Number 8. Brutal reality. What she's really thinking, and why it shouldn't matter. It's time to strip away the illusions and face the raw, unfiltered truth. Right now, you might be imagining her moving on effortlessly, completely unfazed by your silence. You might even think she's sitting there, untouched by your absence, living her best life without a second thought about you. But let me ask you, what if that's not the truth? What if, behind closed doors, she's anxiously checking her phone, replaying old conversations, and secretly hoping you'll crack first? Here's where the hard truth hits. Even if she wants you to break no contact, it's not because she truly wants you back. It's because she wants validation. She wants proof that leaving you was the right decision. She wants to see you chase, because it confirms her power. And if you give in now, you're handing that power right back to her. This is where Stoicism cuts through the noise. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Right now, your mind might be spinning worst-case scenarios. You might think she's glowing, thriving, and forgetting you. But in reality, your silence is getting to her. Your refusal to react is making her question herself. Why? Because for the first time, she's not in control. She expected you to beg, to prove her importance, to validate her decision, but you didn't. And now she's trapped in her own thoughts, wrestling with doubt. From a psychological perspective, this is called cognitive dissonance, that unsettling clash between what she believed about you and the reality she's facing now. She thought you'd crumble, but you didn't. She thought you'd chase, but you stayed silent. And that silence? It's forcing her to reconsider everything. Did I misjudge him? Was I wrong about his feelings? Did I lose something valuable? And the longer you hold your ground, the deeper these thoughts will sink in. That's why you must not break no contact. Not now, not ever. Because the moment you do, you erase every ounce of strength you've built. You relieve her uncertainty. You let her win. But when you hold your silence, you're no longer her source of validation. You've become her reality check. So the question is, are you going to fold, or are you going to own your power? If you're choosing strength today, drop a comment below. I validate myself. I chase no one. Number 9. The ultimate Stoic edge, how letting go makes you magnetic. Let's talk about the ultimate paradox, the secret to becoming truly irresistible. Letting go completely. It sounds backward, doesn't it? The harder you chase something, the further it seems to slip away. The more you cling, the more you push it out of reach. But the second you truly detach, when you stop needing, stop chasing, and stop hoping, you suddenly become magnetic. This isn't just psychology. This is the highest level of Stoic discipline. The moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you free yourself from the need for control or approval, everything changes. You reclaim your power. You shift your focus inward. And when that happens, you become something rare, something truly valuable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you stop obsessing over outcomes and start mastering your own mind, you transform. You become confident, grounded, and emotionally untouchable. And here's the kicker. This genuine detachment makes you more attractive than ever before, because people crave what they can't have. They chase what feels just out of reach. It's not a game, it's human nature. And when you let go for real, when you stop pretending, stop faking confidence, and start living for yourself, your energy shifts. You radiate strength, you exude independence, and that, my friend, is irresistible. Now, she's the one wondering, did you move on? Did she misjudge your strength? Is she the one who lost something valuable? And the best part, you no longer care. That's the real win. That's the ultimate power move. Because at this stage, it's not about getting her back. It's about realizing you never needed her to begin with. You are whole. You are free. And that freedom is what makes you unstoppable. So, are you ready to step into true detachment and claim your power? Drop a comment below and type, "I attract by letting go." Let the world know that you're done chasing and ready to own your life. Conclusion: you've reached the end, but in reality, this is just the beginning. You've uncovered one of life's ultimate truths. Your greatest strength lies in emotional discipline, the power to detach, to let go completely, to walk away without hesitation. That is what makes you unstoppable. You've seen firsthand that attraction isn't built on chasing, begging, or breaking no contact. It thrives in mystery, in independence, in the space where you hold your ground and refuse to settle. Nope, you're not slipping back into old habits. Nope, you're not surrendering your power ever again. From this moment forward, you move differently, stronger, calmer, more in control than ever before. She may secretly hope you'll reach out. She may wonder, second guess, or even regret. But here's the difference. You no longer care, because your worth isn't tied to her response. It isn't measured by her attention. You've already won. You've become emotionally invincible, and that makes you powerful beyond measure. So, let this be your new reality. The greatest revenge is self-improvement. The greatest attraction is absolute freedom. When you refuse to be controlled by anyone else's validation, the entire world bends in your favor. Stand firm in your silence. Own your strength. Watch how everything around you starts to shift. If you're truly ready to embrace these Stoic truths and take full control of your life, drop a comment below. I am the master of my fate. Let the world know you're done playing small. You're stepping into your power, and there's no turning back.